Rustam was born in 2013 in Cherepovets. Nothing is known about his parents. The circumstances surrounding his birth remain shrouded in mystery, with only fragments of information pieced together from hospital records and whispered conversations among medical staff. There was only a rumor that the boy was born with deviations because the mother tried to terminate the pregnancy and took pills. But there is no official confirmation of this. The lack of concrete information about his early days would later become both a blessing and a burden, protecting him from painful truths while leaving questions that might never be answered. Immediately after the birth, the boy was sent to an orphanage. The transition from the sterile hospital environment to the overcrowded orphanage was jarring. The facility, like many in the region, was understaffed and overwhelmed, struggling to provide adequate care for dozens of children with varying needs. According to the teacher, instead of a face, he had a hole. His nose and mouth were missing. The medical condition, known as severe facial clefting, had left Rustam with challenges that would require multiple surgeries and years of rehabilitation. The teachers and caregivers, though well-meaning, were not equipped to handle such complex medical needs. Days turned into months as Rustam lay in his crib, dependent on feeding tubes and constant medical attention. The other children in the orphanage would sometimes stare, not understanding what they were seeing. The staff did their best to shield him from curious eyes, but in an institutional setting, privacy was a luxury rarely afforded. Once Rustam saw his reflection in a toy and got scared. He began to cover his head with a blanket to hide his face. This moment marked a turning point in his psychological development, the first sign that he was becoming aware of his difference from others. The shiny surface of a toy car had acted like a mirror, showing him an image that frightened and confused him. From that day forward, mirrors and reflective surfaces became sources of anxiety. The medical team that worked on Rustam's case included some of the region's most skilled surgeons. Dr. Alexander Petrov, the lead plastic surgeon, had seen many challenging cases, but Rustam's condition required a level of precision and creativity that pushed the boundaries of reconstructive surgery. Only after the first operation, the boy became like a man. He began to talk and was able to eat on his own. The surgery, which lasted over 8 hours, was considered a medical marvel by the hospital staff. When Rustam woke up and saw his new face for the first time, he touched it gently, as if afraid it might disappear. The ability to eat solid food was a revelation. Suddenly, meals became moments of joy rather than medical procedures. But Rustam learned to walk only at the age of 4. The nurses simply didn't have time to teach the legless boy how to use crutches. Therefore, he moved by crawling. The orphanage corridors bore witness to his determination as he pulled himself from room to room, his small hands developing calluses from the rough floors. Other children would sometimes try to help him, fashioning makeshift supports from chairs and toys, but without proper prosthetics or training, progress was slow. Life in the orphanage followed a rigid routine. Breakfast at 7, educational activities in the morning, lunch at noon, rest time, and dinner at 6. For Rustam, each day was a series of obstacles to overcome. Simple tasks like reaching for toys on shelves or keeping up with other children during playtime required extra effort and creativity. Everything changed when the Zlobins met Rustam. Nika Zlobin had spent months researching adoption agencies and special needs children. Her computer browser history was filled with medical journals, adoption forums, and success stories of families who had welcomed children with disabilities. Her husband, Dmitry, initially hesitant about the challenges they would face, eventually came to share her conviction that they could make a difference. Rustam's adoptive parents found out his story on the internet, about him told on one of the sites on adoption. At that time, Nika, a foster mother, had already firmly decided that she wanted to take a child with special needs to help him get out into the big world. The adoption website had featured Rustam's story with a single photograph, a small boy with bright eyes looking directly at the camera. Something about his gaze had captured Nika's heart immediately. She printed the photograph and carried it with her for weeks before finally convincing her husband to visit. The drive to the orphanage took 3 hours through winding country roads. Nika had packed a bag full of toys, books, and snacks, unsure of what to expect. Dmitri drove in silence, both excited and nervous about the meeting that could change their lives forever. At the first meeting, Rustam was afraid of strangers who came to him. Then Nika was with her husband, who supported her decision to adopt a child. The boy cried, pushed away the toys that were brought to him, asked to return to the guys. The meeting room was small and sterile, with plastic chairs and a table covered in children's drawings. Rustam sat in the corner, his prosthetic legs visible beneath his small trousers, his newly reconstructed face still bearing the scars of multiple surgeries. As a result, he was released to peers who were rehearsing the performance. There the boy settled in, got used to strangers and new toys too. The performance was a simple play about woodland animals, and Rustam had been cast as a wise owl. Despite his physical limitations, he threw himself into the role with enthusiasm, his voice clear and strong as he delivered his lines. Watching him on that makeshift stage, the Zlobins saw not a disabled child, but a young performer with untapped potential. At the end of the meeting, the Zlobins realized that Rustam would become their baby. The adoption process took 6 months of paperwork, home visits, and legal procedures. During this time, they renovated their home, installing ramps and adjusting furniture to accommodate Rustam's needs. They also enrolled in courses about caring for children with disabilities. The transition to family life wasn't immediate or easy. Rustam struggled with nightmares and would sometimes wake up calling for his friends from the orphanage. Nika would sit by his bed, reading stories and singing lullabies until he fell back asleep. In the new family, Rustam was taught to walk on crutches, and then they paid for the prosthesis. The prosthetics were expensive, costing nearly a third of Dmitri's annual salary, but the family considered it the best investment they could make. The fitting process took several appointments, with adjustments made to ensure comfort and mobility. The boy was not only able to move around, he even skis. Winter sports became a family tradition. The first time Rustam glided down a gentle slope, his laughter echoing across the snow-covered hills, Nika cried with joy. The ski instructor, initially skeptical about teaching a child with prosthetics, became one of Rustam's biggest supporters. Rustam's speech is now handled by a speech therapist. The weekly sessions focus not just on pronunciation, but on building confidence in communication. Elena Mikhailova, his speech therapist, uses games and storytelling to help Rustam express himself more clearly. Also in the child's schedule is hippotherapy, classes with horses and swimming with dolphins. The hippotherapy sessions take place at a ranch outside the city where specially trained horses help children with disabilities improve their balance and coordination. Swimming with dolphins occurs during annual trips to the Black Sea, where marine therapy programs have shown remarkable results in helping children overcome trauma. They also bought a children's synthesizer for him. In the evenings, the boy plays music and sings songs with his beloved grandmother. Music has become Rustam's passion. His repertoire includes classical pieces, folk songs, and modern pop music. His grandmother, a former music teacher, recognizes his natural talent and has begun giving him formal lessons. Shooting and social advertising also helps to liberate Rustam. The foster mother notes that this is how they raise the boy's self-esteem. The advertising campaigns feature children with disabilities pursuing their dreams, and Rustam has appeared in 3 commercials promoting inclusion and accessibility. Each filming session builds his confidence and helps him see himself as a valued member of society. This year, 9-year-old Rustam went to 1st grade. The school enrollment process required extensive meetings with administrators, teachers, and disability advocates. The Zlobins fought to ensure Rustam would be included in mainstream classes rather than segregated into special education programs. He also took up para karate. The dojo, led by Sensei Volkov, specializes in adaptive martial arts. Rustam's training focuses on building strength, flexibility, and mental discipline. His fellow students, many of whom also have disabilities, have become a supportive peer group. Perhaps the boy will grow up to be a Paralympic champion. His coaches have already noted his exceptional determination and competitive spirit. While it's too early to predict his athletic future, Rustam trains with the dedication of someone much older. In general, Rustam's mother notes that he has become much more liberated. He has gained self-confidence. This is exactly what she wanted. Special children must have willpower and charisma to cope with the difficulties of the surrounding world, which is still hostile to such people. Nika often reflects on the journey they've all taken together, from a frightened child hiding under blankets to a confident young boy pursuing his dreams. Rustam's transformation has been nothing short of miraculous. The family continues to face challenges, but they face them together, stronger than ever. Dear friends, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more.